Gary first appeared on SBS Online in August 2017. But who was watching? The answer is probably not you, with certain exceptions, but we'll get back to that later. Let's have a look at the qualities of the video and see if you can work out who the target audience was. It's bright and colourful, it's easy to understand, it's turned a complex historical argument into a simple narrative between good and evil, and it is interactive, making it something new, fresh and different. So who was the target audience? SBS is a specialist media organisation in Australia with a targeted audience that don't really like to watch anything else, unless it's the ABC. And that is exactly how SBS likes it. In fact, according to the SBS media director Adam Sadler, the SBS audience was discerning, well-informed, well-travelled and highly influential in the community. The average SBS viewer is older than 55 and they watch Dateline and Insight for its robust critical analysis and academic rigour. Do you think Gary would appeal to this target audience? SBS has started a new demographic on the Viceland channel, which has bolder, edgier content aimed at the thinking 30s, a notoriously fickle demographic to please that watches a variety of online platforms. This is what else they watch. Do you think Gary is aimed towards this audience? But that is not the end of the SBS story, because SBS has NITV, which has a loyal Indigenous audience who return repeatedly for its community voice. Gary was launched on this site, and its Indigenous perspective on this historic news story made it the perfect fit. Here's some other NITV shows. Do you think this was the target audience? Yet, there was still another group SBS had in mind, and it was probably you, and all the other school kids in Australia. SBS was obviously aware of the huge market share available in schools, and the launch of the program, SBS Learn, linked up with the school program Reconciliation Australia to develop engaging class resources linked to the curriculum. Do you think this was the target audience? Let's have a look again. To meet the demands of this audience, SBS made their documentary certain ways. Let's go through each of these things. The interactive format allowed people to interact, become part of the story, effectively allowing them to be part of the reconciliation process, particularly in the final section of the video. Minimalised content and viewing time meant that the audience in the age group who would know for their fickle viewing habits and leaving it if they are not interested could stay to the end. The short viewing time, interactivity, straight to the point content rather than academic debate all help maintain a strong level of interest. The bright and bold visuals with elements of Indigenous contemporary artwork was visually dynamic. Many of the graphics were deeply symbolic and nuanced to show perspective and challenge the perspective when coupled with the voiceover and type. The graphics are minimalistic and with a contemporary Indigenous motif. The readily decipherable symbolism and theme were associated with the symbolism of natural elements linked to the Indigenous Butchulla people, and they are blatant and reflect social awareness and understanding. The sensationalised reading of Elizabeth Fraser from renowned actor Miranda Otto and the Butchulla perspective from internationally acclaimed artist and Butchulla woman Fiona Foley create interest in a wide audience, bringing star power to this short production. They also bring an authentic voice to the two perspectives in the piece. Eliza Fraser's perspective is presented as fearful, foolish and racist through the choice of words and the voiceover. The dichotomous story is presented as a short narrative perspective where Eliza Fraser's bias is presented and rejected as the antagonist of the piece, and Foley's rational counter-argument makes her representation of the Butchulla people the protagonist of the piece. Your task is to look at these 6 elements, find a quote, a picture, an example from the text, and then find the effect. You should be able to get lots of information from the video I just made. But there you go. You are part of this story. You're an integral part of its warp and weave to re-educate young Australians into its Indigenous history. That is why on purpose. We'll visit that in the next video.